All right, folks, here we go. You're listening to another edition of the show here on WNHH 103.5 FM, NewHavenIndependent.org. My name is Michelle Turner, and I have the good fortune of being its host. And quiet as it's kept, I really do love doing this. So I thank you for joining me this evening on Facebook Live, and then tomorrow after my girl Babs, 10 a.m., and again at 6 p.m. In the studio with me this evening, I have two gentlemen who control the chessboard at the Stetson Library, if you will. Not necessarily themselves, but what they're doing is bringing young people in, and they are playing chess. So I have the founders of Sports Academy. They are Ed Trimble and Sean Reeves. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So, ask the basic question. Why chess?
I'm going to let Ed elaborate on that. Yeah, for sure.
Get close.
The real question is why not? I got a little story that goes with that. The real question is why not chess? Because it offers so many benefits. I mean, from decision-making skills, problem-solving skills, leadership, all of that's right up inside of there.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, we come to the community as a reminder though, only. Because we ain't teaching nothing new. But we ain't teaching the fundamentals of chess neither.
So how does that work?
Because we teaching life skills on 65 squares.
Okay.
I know the board itself got 64 squares, but we take into account that the board itself is another square.
Mm-hmm.
So that as another square makes it 65.
Okay.
So when we say life skills, we're talking, again, problem solving skills,
Mm-hmm.
that ability to make good choices, good decisions, planning, leadership. We talk about purpose on the chessboard. We talk about self-esteem, self-reliance. All of those things come into play when we teach chess, when we do it.
And who are you teaching it to?
The babies first. We want the babies. We want the babies in our community. But at the same time, our program is designed to teach the whole human family at the same time. So we don't discriminate with the game, but at the same time, a few of our programs is geared to the Black community, though.
Okay. So when you say programs, what are you teaching? You know, you said life skills,
Right.
but are we talking finances? Are we talking basic reading skills? What are we doing when we're combining that with chess?
Okay, well, Sean Reeves could elaborate on the
Entrepreneurship?
aspect, yeah,
Okay.
aspect of that game.
So what we do is, again, the game of chess offers so many different elements and fundamentals that you can kind of take the game and spin it into a number of different things.
Mm-hmm.
So, our goal again is to kind of empower our community. What I did was I took the chessboard and kind of used it to start recultivating my life, so to speak, and my way of thinking. Now, being that I've been an entrepreneur for about 10 years now,
Mm-hmm.
what I do with the chessboard is I take it to forward think about business, right? Because what's happening in business now is not going to be happening in business 10 years from now.
Right.
Things are not moving in a 50-year span anymore. They're moving in 10-year spans,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we want to try and get to the point where we're thinking in a 5-year span
Okay.
frame, right? Of what's going to be next, what's going to be next, what's going to be next. But the goal is to get the community to have a thought process that is along that concept, right?
So again, how does this tie into chess? I know the problem solving
man.
skills are big on that scale because that's what you do when you're playing the game.
That's right.
So how do you tie that into entrepreneurship?
Chess makes you critically analyze and break down things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in business, you need to kind of take a component, which is, so for me, I have a printing company. It's called RHR Print Copy and Digital Service Providers. And inside printing, there's a bunch of different aspects of development that you can learn, right?
Yeah, it is.
Some free advertising. Go ahead.
So what I've learned inside of working in that print shop is that you teach customer service skills.
Mm-hmm.
Customer service skills involves transformation of a person like myself that was coming from a street level mentality with this firm, stance, always arms crossed, never want to waver and bend, right? And then I started playing this game of chess. Chess teaches me to be more open, right? To that I have a bunch of different options to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
So now every customer is not the same individual that came in trying to get over on me yesterday.
Right.
So I have to look at every customer as a different option, right? A different chain that came into my system. And then I'm not going to say manipulate it, but in chess, you move pieces to manipulate actions, right?
Right.
So without the motion, there can be no reaction afterwards. So we do things to cause a reaction. People come in, I got to get them to buy something.
Right.
So the goal is to fill them out, have them fill me out, and then make good moves after that. Every decision is not always the best decision, but
right.
Another thing in chess that you learn is there's really no loss. It's just a lesson that you learn, right?
So
you can go on and on about it.
Let me try to shine some light for you.
Okay, and get close.
Okay. So.
This is live.
Yeah, this is live. This is live. This is live. This is live. With business, you got to first have a purpose.
Right.
So, and that purpose is linked to checkmate on the board. So we teach the power of purpose.
Okay.
So the power of purpose is having something strong enough to pull you into the future. It got to be strong enough to pull you to that next level. It got to be able to pull you higher than that bad day. It got to be able to pull you through that bad relationship. It got to be able to pull you, because the reason why I say it got to be able to pull you, because on the board, you might make a mistake. You might not really learn how to use the pieces together because it's a relationship thing. Nothing has the ability to checkmate the king on his own. So it has to be two or more pieces to checkmate the king. Just like it's going to take me and Sean Reeves to pull this thing off in the community. I can't do it alone. You feel me?
I understand.
It's going to take more than that.
I understand.
So the power of purpose is very important, even in business. So because you got to see it clear first before you can even move and set your purpose into action. The same way on the chessboard. So we showing them like, listen, you got to have a plan first. So they tell you in business, write your plan out. Write your business plan out. They say, yeah, it's the same way on the board. You got to have that plan. And you got to be thinking 4 or 5 moves ahead. Or in business, we thinking 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 months, 4 or 5 years ahead. You know, it's the same way. There's no difference. So, but in the process, so in business, like when you called me on the phone and we talked, I was like, yeah, Michelle, you know what I mean? I try to make that the best phone call I had all week.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Just to get here in front of this mic so we can talk about this thing. But it's the same thing in chess. You got to do your best because self-esteem, self-improvement, all of that is about you feeling good about what you done all day, and you feel good about it.
And the decisions you make, right?
Right.
And that takes you over the hump. That takes you over the hump.
Yeah.
So we promote self-esteem first, self-reliance first, self-confidence first, but all this is being created through the power of purpose. Because without the purpose, there's nothing going to be able to pull you through all of that
struggle.
Yeah, all of the bad decisions you making, all the wrong choices you making. Come on, all the wrong people you making. Because the people become pieces on the board when you traveling through life. When you traveling on 64 squares, it's the same thing. Some pieces they are power pieces. Just like in the world, you're gonna meet some
power players.
People. Yeah, some power players. Like you, Michelle. Power player. Look at you over there orchestrating this thing, huh? Power, you know what I mean? So it has a close relationship there, relationship, and for me, transformation takes place through purpose, through self-reliance, because I can't expect Sean to do everything.
Right.
I gotta be like, okay, look, when Sean falls short, I gotta be like, look, Sean, this is what we supposed to do. Be able to fill him in on everything, take the blame for everything. That's what I do. When something goes wrong in Sport Academy, I take the blame for everything. Okay, so but that's me dealing with self-reliance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of putting the blame on Sean, I put it back on me and like, okay, now how could we fix this? Because the same thing on the board, we got to take the blame. We got to take responsibility for every move, every decision
that is
every
made,
choice that's made.
Okay, so two very strong-willed brothers, right?
Oh. We trying.
Both like both like chess.
Yes, we love it. I love it.
I love the game.
Okay. What did it take for you all to come together and decide this was something that you wanted to pursue, that this was a project that you were going to follow through on? Because when you have two very strong-willed people, even though you've got something in common, sometimes it's a little rough and tumble to, not only come together and do it well.
It could be the clash of the titans sometimes.
Right. Or, even just to keep it going. So what makes you two gel, and how did this come together?
So I'm gonna just tell my story.
Give it up, man. Don't think about it. Just give
it's
it up.
All right. It's all right.
I came to Dixwell, right? I came to Dixwell with a plan.
The library, Stetson.
No.
Get close.
I went to Dixwell to see an old friend of mine. They call him Cousin Twiz. Cousin Twiz was like a cameraman in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So I had this plan in my mind to bring forth Sport Academy. So I said, I need a cameraman. I need all of these pieces. I needed 16 people because it's 16 pieces on the chessboard. So this is what I'm thinking in my mind. So I said, okay, let me start with Twiz, because Twiz is the cameraman. He's going to be able to put Sport Academy on blast. Okay, so I go to the shop one day, chopping up with Twiz. We start having meetings at my house. And one day, Twiz introduced me to Sean.
Okay.
That's how I meet Sean Reeves. Twiz said, yo, this is a good brother right here. Yo, he just had a situation with his son. Yo, he on fire right now. You probably need to meet him. You know what I'm saying? His son just passed around. He running around town, blasting the town on. Why? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, really? Okay. So look, I invited Sean over to the house in my basement, and we all be sitting around.
How many chessboards you got in your basement?
Oh man, I got in my house set up alone, probably like 5. They all set up.
I know it's more than one.
Yeah,
I know it's more than one.
For sure. Got the whole house playing. But so I meet Sean Reeves, and in the basement, I asked him a question. I never forget it. So I said, so in your household, Sean, he said, hold on for a second. He said, yo, if I can't be the king, I don't want to live here. I said, yo, want to live here? Yo, he like spazzed out like a whole 20-minute reason why if he ain't the king of his household, he don't even want to live there. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, like, I need that brother right there. I need that brother right there. That was like a long 20-minute speech he gave. Yo, and the whole room got quiet. It was like, and when he talking, he like sweating and everything. I'm like, woo. I'm like, yo, okay. So from there, we start linking. Now, at this time, I'm on third shift. So
Okay.
I would get off work because him and Twiz had a business together. So I would come to the shop, spit the dream to Sean every day, spit it in his ear every day. Sport Academy, this, yo, it's this big institution. Yo, we gonna do it. Yo, right, Sean?
Seriously.
Like every day. I would do it
Seriously.
for like about 4 or 5 months, just spitting it in his ear. Then one day I came, he had a brochure already made up. I said, oh, what's that? He said, yo, I've been doing some thinking. I said, what's that? Brochure made. I said, oh, look at you. All right. So then we still talking about it. I'm spitting the dream because all we could do at this moment is dream it.
Right.
Be dreaming it.
And what year was this?
This was 2013.
2013.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. So I'm spitting it to him. He's like, yo, like this. Then the next day I came, he had the shield, man. Sport Academy shield. Liked it because before we even seen the shield physically, we talked about the concept of the shield.
Right.
How it would fade into a light from a dark state because we talking about the consciousness of the people. So to make a long story short, and then I'm gonna let Sean spin off on this, but the concept for me coming with this Sport Academy concept was that I know us as a people, we are destroyed people. And what you see now of Black people right now in 2018 is us coming from a destroyed state. And we've been destroyed through a 64-year process now. Listen to that number, 64, because it relates to the 64 squares on the board. So from a 64-year process. And when the European brought these slaves over here, they had us being permanent slaves for the rest of our lives. And when I say that, they say, well, how you know? I said, because look, they took our names from us. They took our language. They took our culture. They took our God from us. And then they took the knowledge of ourselves from us. And when I'm reading about all of these slave narratives, it's saying in there that they ain't even want us to know our birthdays.
Right.
How wicked
They
is
didn't
that?
want us to know how old we were.
Yeah, they ain't even want us to know nothing about ourselves. So they had in their minds for us to be permanent slaves. So I start linking that with the chessboard. I said, well, the king is the pawn is a fallen king. And this pawn gonna have to work his way back up to his natural self, to his true self, which is the king. But in order for him to do that, he got to go through all of these pieces that's in between the pawn and the king. So he gonna have to become a bishop at some point. He gonna have to become a knight at some point. He gonna have to become a rook at some point.
And through all of that, there's some critical thinking, there's some planning,
all of that, problem solving,
everything.
All of that, all of that comes into play. But we ain't go. You know what I'm saying?
You got to project yourself into the future. You got to see a future self of you. You got to see yourself there in order to even want to try to obtain that.
All of that.
Right?
So I'm spitting all of this to Sean in a 5-month period. I'm spitting it to him like, yo, do you see it? And then once you see, I can see it. Then he came with that shield, and that shield let me know that he's seen it, because if you look at the Sport Academy shield,
I've seen it.
It's a lot of science in that. If we could go through the shield, if it's enough time, because it got a lot of shades in it. You see like the shades in it, and it's so many dots in it. All of that means something for us, but we ain't no Masons. We ain't concealing none. We want to give it away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, though?
Right.
But all this has significance, though. And you know, Sean was a brother that he took it, and then at some point we kept linking together. Then he called me on to be his mentor.
Wow.
And this how we stayed together all this time. We've been, you know, adding on and adding on and adding on. He got a powerful story too, though.
And it's a process. So, you know, 7 years ago, my son had gotten killed over on George Street.
Yeah, and all the community was very familiar with that story.
Right. But during that time, it kind of did something to me. It showed me something, and it took me away from something. Right. So what it showed me was that the community needed more help than I ever thought it did.
Yeah, because I think most people think that, well, we got this program and folks over here doing this, and you see people doing things, and you just figure, well, I'm just the average person. What can I do?
Nah, but it wasn't even. So the kind of help that I seen that the community needed was fathers. The day of my son's funeral, I couldn't count the kids that walked up to me and said they wish they had a father like me. I never considered myself to be nobody special, right? I had kids and I need to take care of them. So I've been the best father that I can be.
Right.
Right. It just amazed me. From that point on, I kind of, started really taking a look back through my own life. I never really had a dad in my household, but I had my grandfather. That was my father figure. But inside the community, I had several dads.
Right.
And several granddads. And several grandmothers. And several uncles. And several mentors.
Right. You had a village. And your village was strong.
Right. Powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we take that for granted, by the way.
Right.
We take it for granted.
Listen.
Until that village starts to deplete.
But we see the results of not having a village now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It didn't sit well with me. One thing I had to do was decide whether I was going to take a life or whether I was going to save a life. That was my biggest decision. I thought that was going to end my world. It's my worst fear.
Yeah.
And one day it shall be, probably the greatest triumph of my life. Right. So, the only thing I can do is try to help those other kids that need the help. You know what I mean? I come from a street background. I know what it looked like out there. But one thing I say when I see my friends' children still kind of in the mix, we didn't do enough because that wasn't our goal when we got there. Our goal was for them never to have to step foot on the street corner. Right. So if they're still going there, then we didn't do enough. So, I have to do something now. And this is part of the impact that I take on. I try to run from this. Then I ran into this man. Similar thought processes. I had a Sean Jermaine Reeves Jr. Foundation, and the goal was trying to educate kids. Education was key. My son was a straight A student his whole life. And I would say he probably gave about 75%. Right? So to tune himself up to give another 25% at a high school graduate going into college level, you could never, realize what potential could have came out.
Right.
Right. So again, we talk about the word potential. Each one of these children that we lose out here, untapped potential that we'll never get a chance to see. Right. And if we don't start doing something now to cultivate these children's minds, we're going to continuously see all of this untapped potential. And these kids are geniuses.
These kids are bright. You're listening to The Show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and the NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook, which you're witnessing right now. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent, or just go to your own Facebook page and look us up. In the studio with me are the founders of Sport Academy, and talking about how chess brings in life and life skills and possibly entrepreneurship for some folks. And Mr. Sean Reeves and Mr. Ed Trimble were telling us how they came together. And I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just noticed the time and I was like, okay, I got to get my ID.
Yeah, no. So, and just real quick before I end on that note, this gentleman brought this chessboard into my life, and it kind of helped me out through a lot of depression.
And what was that like? Like, did he just come and say, "Here, we gonna play," or
no? So at the shop, they were already playing. He used to come in and they play chess, and I'd just be watching. But I knew how to play the game. I just, I haven't played it in so long. It was like I needed a refresher course. But
right.
Again, our conversations and the things I hear he's telling me. That we can cultivate through that 64 squares, that box.
Mm-hmm.
I needed it. The same things that we're trying to give to the community, I needed it at the time.
Mm.
And I still need it. I use it every day. I use chess every waking moment of my day, for every aspect of my life, my work life, my life with my children, any type of relationships I have, even in my world of business, right? There's a bunch of different games that I have to play every day.
Right.
And I try to master them as best as I can. Whatever mistakes I make, I learn from them. Again, I don't let them beat me down anymore. But it brought me back into a state of wanting to participate, with other people. You know what I mean?
Getting back out in the community.
And now I just continuously see the power of what it can do for a community. Right. So, we're on board to the end.
So how did you all bring this to Stetson Library? And what's the age groups that you're working with?
5 and up.
5 and up?
Take them 5 and up, and we got to the Stetson because our first stop kind of let us in for a minute and then stopped it, kicked us out.
Wow.
Well, I ain't going to say kicked us out.
Yeah. What was like
we're not going to say kicked us out, but it was complications to us getting a space on the weekend on a Saturday. It was a school, right? So it comes with janitorial bills and other things like that. So, but Miss Diane, once we went there and presented the situation to her.
That is Diane Brown, and she's the head librarian at Stetson Library. She's a powerful sister, too.
She's like a grandmother in the community.
Yeah.
And she made it happen for us. We've been there ever since.
That's great. So you have an event Saturday.
Yes, the third annual chess day.
And so, if I were to go into Stetson on Saturday, what would I see? What's the first thing I'm going to see in this competition? How's it set up?
Well, when you walk through the door, you're going to see 250 people. You ain't going to know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to see a nice female, probably Cheryl in Poindexter. She's gonna.
Yeah, I know Cheryl.
Yeah, okay, so Cheryl is probably gonna.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl. So she's probably gonna check you in. Get your name and all that, your email address, so we can keep in touch.
Keep in touch. Absolutely.
And then she's gonna see what it is that you like. I mean, if you can play the game, or if you can't play, because we teaching the game at the same time.
Okay. So all right.
Inside that day, it's going to be chess puzzles because if you can play, then you might can solve a chess puzzle in 5 minutes. So it might be something like mate in 5. So you got 5 minutes to solve.
So wait a minute. Back up. Explain the language.
Okay. So we're going to have when I say a chess puzzle, we're going to have the chessboard sitting there, but it's going to be already set up like a game was already played.
Okay.
But when you look at the board, I'm going to tell you, it's your turn and it's mate in 5 moves. I need for you to figure it out in 5 minutes, mate in 5.
Okay.
And it's going to be a bunch of those happening, mate in 3 over
Babs
there.
Rawls Ivy, you hear that? They're telling you can come in and play on
Right,
Saturday.
yeah, win some prizes. Come in, win some prizes.
Listen, it's for everybody. It's not just a tournament. It's our National Chess Day. Actually, it's December the 2nd is National Chess Day around the world.
Correct.
So we do it on that first Saturday of December, our annual National
Chess Day.
Yeah, so this is like our third one, you know. So hopefully last year we had 198 people there.
Wow.
I wanna. Okay, I know the fire department is listening to this. I want to pack it so as you guys gonna come out and say, yo, you guys can't let nobody else in there. That's my aim to do that. I'm telling you that.
Right, and just for the stressing part of it, a lot of people think it's just a chess tournament. This is a National Chess Day.
Yeah.
The
So you
tournament,
basically are coming in and playing.
the tournament is scheduled inside of the day as a part
Okay.
of the events, right?
Okay.
But it's
For
National
those that can
Chess
play.
Day. That's only for
Right.
those that can sign up. That's playing. You know, it's a chance to win a prize at the end of that. For those that can't play, we're going to be doing chess instructing from beginners on through. You know, the chess puzzles. There's going to be a lot of information about the academy, what we're doing,
Okay.
what we're doing moving forward.
Mhm.
You know,
Raffles.
food. It's going to
Free
be all kind. You know,
food.
it's a family fun event.
It's a family fun event.
Okay.
But please, you know, we stress coming to get the information because again, people ask why chess,
Right.
and the real reason is why not chess.
Mhm.
You know, because across the world, chess is embedded in almost every school system as part of the school system curriculum
Because of the critical thinking involved.
because of all the aspects that chess has to offer. There's well over 20 benefits that game can produce for a person, for
Name
an
3.
individual. So we already named 3. Let's
Give me
talk,
a new 3.
All right. So we talked about the critical thinking. We talked about the problem
solving. Yeah.
Decision making skills.
Yeah.
So it helps
Leadership.
it helps with math and reading comprehension.
Yeah.
It boosts self-esteem. What else?
It's good for Alzheimer's if your
Oh, my
mom
goodness.
or if your grandparents.
So
is
it's a
thinking real
brain
slow.
game.
Huh?
It's a brain
Oh yeah,
game.
for sure,
Listen,
for sure. Yes.
It helps with
Yeah,
depression.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Anxiety, autism, the list goes on. It's a therapeutic game.
Mm.
Relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of
All
the
of that.
cheapest things that you can ever possibly purchase.
Yeah, because all you got to
with
do
the
is
most
just
benefit.
you can go anywhere and get a chess game.
Yo, and here's the supreme one. You can escape to a whole nother world in the chess game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You could be who you want on the chessboard. You got superpowers helping you. The queen, the knight, the bishop, the rook. You got super friends helping you pull off whatever you want.
You got a Black
Come
Panther.
on, you got a Black Panther.
Right, listen,
you gotta go. Come on, you kidding me?
And the goal is to get the mind to expand itself, right? Not for our kids to become limited and boxed in, because as we get older, it seems like we get more and more boxed in with our thinking process, right? It starts not becoming about possibilities that are endless, but more so a focused kind of structure. You should be a firefighter, lawyer, doctor, stuff like that.
Right.
And we don't want to really restrain those minds, right? Because they can be anybody.
Right.
Anybody
Right.
coming from a neighborhood like ours, the next president could come out of there.
Right.
I think for us, see, because me, what I see is us as Africans, we behind the ball, behind the 8 ball with the chess game. It's in the white community, been there. On a global scale, the Russians had it in their school system in like the 40s,
Right.
way back then, playing chess with the kids, teaching them kids back in the 40s. So,
Well, you know that as you all probably are very familiar, some of the most toughest chess matches came in when the Russians were playing.
Right. I mean,
You know, especially in the 70s.
they got the most chess masters, believe it or not.
I believe it.
They got the most chess masters. But us as Africans, we the miracle.
Mm.
When you look at us now, what we done been through, and we still coming up, So when I said to Sean, I said, look, I said, yo, when you playing this game, you got to plan ahead. You got to be able to write your history in advance. He said, what you mean by that? I said, yo, it's 64 squares. You could write this thing where you thinking 64 thoughts ahead of your opponent.
Mhm.
He said, what you mean? I said, it was a time when your forefathers was writing their history 25,000 years in advance to equal their home circumference.
Mhm.
The home circumference of the planet is 24,896,000 square miles. So if they could write 25,000 years in advance, I know you could do 64 thoughts. Come on, man, you kidding me? Come on, Sean, ain't nothing you can't do. He's like, yo, for real. I'm like, yeah, man, for real.
And
you can do this.
Listen, and he put me to a test,
Nothing
right?
you can't do.
Uh-huh.
No food for 3 days.
Yeah, no.
Why?
Get the mind right.
Okay.
It was to cleanse myself, right? To get my mind right. That was probably one of the most empowering things I had done in a long time because I didn't think I was going to get through it.
So what effect did that have on you?
If I can do that, I can do just about anything.
Mm.
It's
Anything.
bumpy in the beginning because
It-
he was going through some mood swings. I said, but this is to be expected.
Right.
But that mood swing you see, you need to be able to rise above that.
Right.
Because what you're looking for to get out of that need to pull you past the mood swing, need to make you rise above the mood swing. So that's why I was talking about earlier.
The purpose.
The purpose has to be able to pull you into the future, not
And it gave you a focus.
right.
Well,
It gave you a real,
Right.
true focus.
It pulled me right. It pulled me right where I needed to be at that moment, right?
Mhm.
To keep me going, because Lord knows, man, I fall down. Listen, it's a tough road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a lot of things, challenges still facing me, but I fall down and then I get back up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, I know one thing. If I don't know nothing else, I got one of the most sharpest, powerful minds at my disposal. All I gotta do is pick up the phone and call. Better believe it.
So, on Saturday, what time do you start? You already got folks signed up, but that doesn't necessarily mean that someone who wants to play
You could come down there
cannot
and sign
come.
up.
Come down. You can sign up
And
on
play.
the day.
Sign
You
up
can
on the
sign
day.
up on the day. Like I said, it's gonna be a bunch of fun. Don't be scared. Come play. Be amongst your people. Be amongst some of your peers. You know what I mean? Allow your kids to come and interact with the rest of the kids of the community. This is our challenge. We have to start interacting with ourselves.
Yeah.
We have to build what we want to see in the future.
Yeah.
If we want our kids to interact correctly, then we have to start allowing them to interact correctly in the proper settings.
Right. Because that used to be church, right?
It used to
right.
be church,
Everybody used to go to church,
right?
you know, and until you were at least 16, you had no rights about saying you weren't going to church,
That's right.
right?
Better look.
Regardless.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
and if your mother wasn't taking you, it was your grandmother or your
Your aunt,
auntie.
somebody
That's
was
right.
taking you to
Somebody
church.
was taking you to church.
Right.
Now, you know, it was always whispered that, you know, the men were heathens, right? Because they weren't going to lead you and take you to church.
right.
Yeah. They a bunch of heathens. Come on here, child. Get in
They
this
might
car.
drop you
Come
off
on, we
at
gonna
the
walk.
church.
Right. We gonna walk. Let him sleep. Hung out last night. And you know, in the old saying, right?
Right.
If you can give Saturday night to the devil, you can give Sunday to the Lord.
right. That's right. That's
You
right.
know, so by the time they get up and they're ready to go, if the man in the family wasn't ready, he got called a nice couple of names, and grandma, auntie, mom would gather everybody up, and you went to church.
Right.
And you went Sunday school.
Went
You
faithfully.
went-
Faithfully.
Yeah,
Right.
you went
Faithfully.
Sunday school. You went to service. Then you might have had lunch
He came back
And
that
then you
night,
came
went
back
to church.
for whatever program was
But
going
listen,
on.
and to be
man.
honest with you, church, it used to be fun. You know what I mean? We used to have youth
Mhm.
groups and things like that. Again, you get to spend time with a lot of your friends that you might not be able
Right.
to see throughout the course of the week. So
Yeah.
you know, it was a life.
It was a life.
It was a life.
And I
you know?
think for a lot of reasons, for whatever those reasons are, you know, that was the heart of our community at one point, and that heart got snatched, and it's still not where it could be.
Could be.
Right.
You know, you have a lot of young reverends now who are really doing a lot of outreach and trying to pull people back in, even just for a sense of community, if nothing else. So when you start to talk about doing things like pulling folks together from the community, you know, and putting them in one place, it's a great,
Right.
fantastic motivator, big idea, you know, because kids don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't know what it means to have a sense of community because you're not taught that. It's kind of organic. Like we said, it's either church or it's sports or it's something that brings folks together as a group.
Go Sport Academy now.
Sport
Right.
Academy.
So
now,
you
right.
know, so now it's Sport Academy and change, right? Things
Yeah.
change
Used
takes
to be
place.
Gulf Street Park.
It's a process, right? And life evolves itself, and it evolves itself. And like the movie Transformers, they say
Right.
that all spark, it never really goes away. It just transforms, and it's gonna
It
retransform itself
stays. Yeah.
again and again until it gets to a perfected state.
Mm-hmm. Because
Right.
change is constant.
Because
It's kind of-
and it needs
Change
to
is
be constant
constant.
in our community. Change has to take place.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people my way of thinking is this. They say, you know, we're waiting for the world to change. I said, well, we must empower every chocolate person on the planet because we're the last part of the change that needs to take place. We're the
Mhm.
only ones that are not active enough, right? The world's been this way for 400 years. Everybody that's gotten fat have already been fat, and they're just continuously getting fat, right? We're getting smart though.
Yeah.
So now our smart is going to produce it. You know, smarts is going to produce a different level of living for us soon to come. You know what I
Mhm.
mean, we have to be patient with ourselves. You know
And
what
I think that's a good statement because I think so many times we want to rush to put something together and we want to, you know, get everybody in. You know, we're going to do this thing, right? And when it doesn't come together exactly the way that we expect it to, then we're disappointed. Then we don't want to pursue it, or we want to take our ball home because now I'm mad.
Right.
You know. And instead of having the patience to say, okay, let's hang in there. Let's see how we can get around this obstacle, right? You know, how we problem solve this. And it's when you're doing community things, there is a lot of patience and planning involved.
Right. You got to love your community, man. You got to really love what you do.
So have you all competed?
In real tournaments? Well,
Yeah.
Outside of this?
Yes.
Well, you know what?
Or are you going down that road?
We going down that road.
Okay.
We going
All
down
right.
that road.
Getting there.
You
I
got
just-
some grandmasters in the making?
Well, you know what? My man William Moore, we had him since he was 5.
How old is he now?
He about 9 now. I think
Oh,
about 9,
okay.
About 9. But Will's pretty good, but he moved to Hartford on us. Will, I hope you come down, Will, to Saturday.
Tell your mom to bring you on down,
Yeah,
right? Drop
Jamie.
you on, pick you on up. You already know
Jamie,
how it
please
go.
break him down, Jamie. Yeah, Will's pretty good, man. He's really good to be 9.
And so the challenge right now is getting these kids consistent with this,
Yeah.
right? Because I haven't seen a kid that came into that library that touched that board that wanted to walk away and never return.
Mm.
So we already understand that it's a magnet, right? And it only can get better for them. They can only learn to become grandmasters through time,
Yeah.
through practice. You know what I mean?
Patience.
You have to keep going, and you have to play these things every day, just like you do anything else in order to master it, right?
Mhm.
You can't deal with
Be
it
the
once a week or
parents-
once
be
a
the
month.
parents that don't have patience. They think
Get close.
the parents think that, okay, I dropped them off on Saturday and it's 3 months from now. He still really don't know the game. 1 week, one time out of a week ain't gonna cut it. You gotta at least have
Yeah.
2 or 3 consecutive days back to back so they can retain the information. They gotta
Right.
be able to retain it
And
in order to use it.
retain it and then think about it.
Yeah.
Start to think about
Right.
Right.
moves, right?
Because we could correct what we did wrong yesterday, but we can't correct what we did wrong last week because you done forgot what you done
Right.
did wrong.
Exactly.
But if
Exactly.
I had you Monday and Tuesday, what we did Monday, we gonna fix that Tuesday.
Right.
Then you
And it's
gonna-
on my mind,
Yeah,
right?
and that's
It's
right.
It's on my mind.
Still on your
Wednesday,
mind.
Thursday,
Because
and
now I'm
Friday.
saying,
Right.
I can't think about that move.
Right.
What am I missing? You know?
Yeah.
And that's all you think about. You know, if you're really into it,
Yeah.
you know, and it takes time.
It takes time.
Right. So, our challenges is kind of getting the parents to be a little bit more patient.
Mhm.
Getting these kids that can't get transported over on the weekends, linked to the, our goal is to get transportation.
Hmm.
I don't like when I see kids and they say, I moved across town and I can't come now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know parents have to work double shifts, triple shifts, and everybody can't always get the kids there. But our goal is to make sure that they're in the place that they're supposed to be, or
Mm.
that they would like to be.
Mm.
Right?
So are
It's
y'all a
important.
501c3 yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
I have some suggestions for you as to how you can tap
Make that
into some.
happen,
Well,
make
and
that
this is the reason why we kind of threw some of this stuff out there.
Make that happen.
Use our resource chain.
Just some suggestions.
Yeah.
You know.
The
Let's see how it
community.
goes.
The community helps things like this anyway, though. Any
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit organization thrives from community support.
Right.
The community been funding us since the beginning.
Everything
it or
that
not.
we've done.
I believe it.
Everything that we
I
Big
believe
up
it.
to the community. Big up to the
Oh,
community.
listen,
We really appreciate y'all.
I show them love as much as
we
I can.
really appreciate y'all.
And I think it's because it's obvious what you're doing, right? You're bringing young people in, you're captivating them with this game that is known as, just like horse racing was the sport of kings, right?
Right.
Chess was the game of kings.
Mm.
So once they connect to this game, it's like, oh man, I've never seen a kid that either has been involved in sports or chess that doesn't say, I need to go back because there's something I ain't do.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it
That's what it
stays
do.
with them. It stays
Mhm.
with them.
It's the competitive nature of man.
Yeah. 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 Because, you think that. And that's the other thing. And we all know this when you work with children, but we don't think they're paying attention, right? We never think the kids are paying attention because we always have to tell them the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Right? And by that 50th time, you're like, but you catch yourself, you try to be patient.
Right.
And then the next day or the next time, whatever has to happen, either they've got it or they understand it better, so they execute a little better
A little better.
each time.
That's
Time.
the beauty of development. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. The process
And,
of life.
you're talking about how this game is a brain game.
It's a character builder too.
It's a character builder. Absolutely. But I can very easily see how an Alzheimer patient can play this game.
That's right.
It makes you exercise both sides of your brain. So
Mhm.
when you kind of losing on one side, you still creating from the other side. When most people only just utilize the one side.
Right. And that one side is stronger.
Right.
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 And then when you start to do other stuff and you're not catching on very well, you're like, well, what is going on?
You're thinking
'Cause you
you're
haven't used
remembering-
it.
You're remembering moves. So
Right.
you're building a stronger sense of memory. They said the chest grows the dendrites in one's brain.
Mhm.
Those receptacles that it's like pistons in there. It grows them and makes them thicker and makes them stronger.
And that's part of Alzheimer's. You have to have that line in the brain
Right.
because that keeps everything moving and everything going. When the brain starts to smooth out, that's when you have problems.
Right.
Ed, you didn't say how you started playing chess.
I was introduced to.
Ken, you're not going to walk out of here without telling that story.
Well, you know what? I was introduced to the game because I wanted to learn this thing called supreme mathematics. And the guy said to me, well, if I teach you this, you're going to have to learn this. But I was already fascinated with the board anyway. I was like, yo, why the pieces all different? But he taught me in a way where I would come on the board. I would come, and it would be one piece on the board. I'm like, where's all the other pieces? You're like, let's talk about the poem. I'm like, this ain't what I want to play the game. You gonna teach me the game or what? But slowly, as he went through all of the pieces and we went through all of the math, he was kind of relating knowledge to the poem, telling me that the poems are basically the foundation to this game. Don't believe when they tell you that the poems are the weakest ones. They got the most potential on the board because they could transform themselves into any other piece.
The other pieces.
Every other piece is stuck within its right. It can't become nothing else. It can't become no greater than what it is. But the poem is the greatest piece on the board. But the only thing is the king being the most important piece, because once you checkmate the king, you know it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so he just kept on with that thing there. And I was like getting frustrated with the process because I'm trying to come on, man, let's play the game. So we end up just going through that whole line. So when I finally got all the pieces on the board, my understanding of the pieces was so great. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was already playing, like, in my mind, be above a novice level already, because I already knew how they moved. I already knew the nature of the piece and what the potential of it was and what the whole aim was it, because it's about relationships when you playing chess. One piece cannot do it alone. You got to work them together like twins. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having a relationship with a man and a woman. You know what I mean? You got to know when to give. You got to know when to compromise a little bit. It's all of that did in the game. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, so when I got the game, I was like, keep my queen in the back. I only bought my queen out when it was time for something bigger and stronger to impose his will on the game and end it. You see, the queen don't need to come out of her pocket till she necessary. She's so
how long did it take you? And did you learn? Yeah, and did you learn the supreme mathematics?
Yeah, I learned it all. I learned it all. I mean, I learned it all. I still use math today. I still use the supreme math. I still use the alphabet. You know, I even taught Sean the math. It's so good. I'm like, look, Sean, you gonna need this too. Here, take this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Take this. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Having equipment.
So tell us about Saturday real quick.
National Chess Day, Saturday, 200 Dixwell Avenue, Stetson Library. What we at, 10 to 4?
10 to 5.
10 to 5, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Afternoon. So we're there all morning from beginning to end.
All day.
Stop in. You know, like I said, it's going to be all kinds of different activities going on.
Free food.
Never know who might show up.
Raffles. We're going to be raffling off
prizes,
T-shirts, hats, water cups, all kind of stuff, water bottles, you name it. We got all kind of stuff.
And there is a cash prize for this tournament. So gentlemen, make sure you come and sign yourself up if you want a chance at that. You know, it ain't about the money though. It's always about the bragging rights and that trophy though.
$100 cash prize.
That sounds good.
Come show off your minds, man. Come show off these bright minds I done seen around this town all summer long. Summer long, I've been seeing nothing but bright talent minds.
But better yet, come learn about Sport Academy. Come see what we have to offer, where we're going, and what our plans for the future are, too, at the same time. So,
true indeed.
And we're teaching chess if you don't know how to play that day. So come and learn how to walk around on 64 squares.
Ed Trimble, Sean Reeves, thank you so much for coming in.
Yep. Thanks for having
expressing yourselves.
Thanks for having
telling us about how important chess is to the community and spreading the good word about your event this coming Saturday. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're listening to the show on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We're streaming live on TuneIn Radio and the NewHavenIndependent.org. Also streaming live video on Facebook Live right now. Just go to facebook.com/New Haven Independent or just go to your Facebook page and look us up.
Yep.
This has been the show. I'm your host, Michelle Turner, on WNHH 103.5 FM. Bye, Harry. Thank you.
Bye, Harry.
Bye, Harry.
Yeah. So, what's that information you got about them buses? You trying to give us some vans or something? What's
Well, I'm trying to think of is in terms of what organizations that will give you money to do that.